I still think the Kinect was better than whatever the PlayStation was doing. It was called PlayStation Move.
You had the bubble ones,
Well,
blue and pink.
So you call them bubble wands? I thought they looked more like Hitachi wands. If you know, you know.
Well, I don't know, and I don't think I want to know, so.
Don't Google it. Don't Google what a Hitachi wand is.
Just stick with what I said. Bubble ones. They're little bubbles on the end.
It's a massager. Only used for back massages and nothing else.
Nothing. Thank you for the educational lesson of the day.
Yeah.
I will be sure to not Google that at this very second. And,
All right. All right, on tonight's episode of The Trash Guys, we're bringing back an old classic, the console wars. That's right, Xbox versus PlayStation, and like some Nintendo thrown in there. You know, which console's the best? Or is it, I can't do this. PC Master Race. PC Master Race. It's just
long
it's so much
before
better.
the PC Master Race, though. long time ago in what is the Star Wars? Long time in a galaxy far, far away.
Long time ago in a early 90s video game industry far, far away.
Exactly. Before PC really took off as quick as it did, it was Xbox, PlayStation. If your friend had a PlayStation, you had an Xbox, you weren't allowed to be friends. It just was not allowed. You had to go find new friends.
I can't imagine life before crossplay. It's such an industry standard nowadays that just, I don't know. It just, because you're absolutely right. If you wanted to play with your friends and family, you had to buy whatever consoles they already had. So whoever was like the first gamer in your friend group kind of had like a huge, decision to make, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where you got those tantrums. Like your parents come home with a PlayStation, you're like, I wanted an Xbox. Jimmy has an Xbox, now we can't play together.
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
But yeah, did you ever have like a Xbox or a PlayStation or any of those?
I actually had both.
Okay.
Okay. I stuck with Xbox. I think we talked about this once before on an old podcast, but I was always the Xbox guy. I had every version of an Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox Elite, I think is the one that came after 360. I didn't get the X. I stopped after that because I became a PC Master Race member. But I was always Xbox. I would play PlayStation on my dad's PlayStation or friends' PlayStations. Best friend of mine years ago had PlayStation. So I'd play like Horizon, Spider-Man, those types of things on his game or on his PlayStation. I don't know why I almost said GameCube. And then on my dad's old like PlayStation 2, I would play like old fighting games like Soul Calibur, and sometimes I'd play God of War. And he had like this weird D&D dungeon type game, which we have a lot more now. Like it was an old version of Diablo, I guess you could say. That was pretty fun to play. But I've always just leaned more towards Xbox. The controllers have always felt better in my hand. I've always just enjoyed the games more. Halo. Gotta love the Halo.
Xbox 360 did have, I would argue, maybe like the best console controller of all time. It's so good. It's very comfortable. It's just well made. I really like that controller. I would use that if I still had one. I would use it as my go-to PC controller over the Xbox One controller that I have now.
Well, one thing I've liked, like I got an Xbox, they've never really changed it too much. It's always, it adjusts a little bit. And I don't think PlayStation's changed their controller that much either. But
Right.
I've never liked how PlayStation puts their joysticks like right here. Like I really like the separation between it, because when I'm here, I don't know, it just feels really awkward having my thumbs in the same spot. And PlayStation's controllers are like so skinny. Oh wait, I have a PlayStation controller right here. Jess has a PlayStation. Like it's just so, like I feel like I'm so far away from everything. I don't know. I just can't. It's always so awkward. I don't like it.
Nintendo does the same thing with like their Switch Pro controller, where the joysticks are like top and bottom instead of right next to each other.
Grim, I remember I'm a Xbox person, so most of my opinions will be Xbox related. Sorry for Spotify users, I'm getting called out. Apparently, PlayStation has changed their controller a lot. I'm oblivious. I'm sorry.
Okay, so they added like a touchpad in the top of their controller or something, and then
the shape is the same. It like is not that different.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Is the shape and the feel in my hand.
They haven't changed like button layouts or anything like that. to be honest. Maybe just more form factor and like the construction of the controller, but I mean, that's what every game company does. But yeah, I was similar in that I never had a PlayStation. And I did get an Xbox 360. The only reason I did it though was because I wanted to play Call of Duty Zombies with my friends and my cousins, and they all had Xbox, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting an Xbox. But honestly, and I don't want to dwell too much on this because you're right, we did kind of already do a podcast episode about this in the past, but I was a Nintendo kid. I grew up playing Nintendo consoles. I had N64. My cousins had the Super Nintendo. And then from there, you know, GameCube, DS, the Wii, 3DS, Wii U, up until the Switch. And then, yeah, I never bought any other console aside from the Xbox 360, because after that, I was like, why get a modern Xbox or PlayStation when I could just build my computer? And that's exactly what both of us did.
And I think the nice thing too, right? And we'll kind of get off this here in a second, but your computer, if you build it right, lasts 5 to 8 years, and still, even after the 8 years, you're still pretty well off. But that's usually around when you start to upgrade. We're creating a new console every year or two. Like, it's like the Call of Duty series, man. It's just they're fucking just brushing them out there, man. It's like, I don't need a new console this year. I don't need a new console that year. Like,
it's not every 2 years. Let's not be that exaggerative. It is about like 6 years, an average between console generations and their lifespans. The Nintendo Switch is in its 6th year, right?
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. And between Xbox and Xbox, what came after the Xbox 360? It was the Xbox One.
The Elite. Oh, Xbox One. That's right.
Yeah, after the Xbox One came out, like I think 7 years after the 360. I think you can look it up right now, but yep. I want to say Xbox 360 launched somewhere in like I want to say like 2005, and Xbox One came out I want to say like 2012. So that's like a 7-year difference, more or less.
The Xbox, the original Xbox, came out 2001.
Yeah.
Xbox 360 came out 2005, so 4 years.
I was right about that.
After that, Xbox One. Oh, the Xbox 360 lasted a long ass time.
Like 7 years, right?
The Xbox One, 1S, and 1X came out in 2013.
I was 1 year off. So 8 years, actually.
8 years. And then the next one, Xbox Series X and Series S 2020, so another 7 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So on average,
I just felt like maybe it was because of the
You're
X
thinking Call of
and the
Duty.
S.
You're thinking of and that is true. You know what? You are correct. They do
models.
come out with models, with the new models of like the same system.
I was like, I swear I would see one, and then like next Christmas I would see a different one. But it's probably just the models, and they're like, oh, now we're offering a smaller one, or okay. Yeah. So now I figured out where I went off. There. I was like, wait, I was off.
Nintendo did the same thing with their 3DS because they had like the 3DS, and then they had like the 3DS XL, and then the 3DS XL, and then like the new 3DS XL 2DS with Dante from the Devil May Cry series. They just kept kind of adding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I think your point still stands that having a PC just is very nice. There's a lot of advantages over having a console, and they're like relatively the same price nowadays, you know? I mean, how much does the PS5 cost? Like, what, $500?
Right now? I don't know current pricing. What was it when it came out? Like 700, 600? I know they were getting expensive on the releases.
It was about 500, 600. I think there's a difference between whether you got it with like the hard disk reader and the digital only version.
Gotcha.
I think it was about that $500 price range. What would you say is the average price for like a budget build PC though? I want to say it's about 600. I think you can get away with a budget build.
The problem with that is it's not just the PC, right? You have to get peripherals and kind of some other stuff like that.
Oh, that's true.
I think to get a decent computer nowadays that will play majority of the games that people want to play. Like if we're talking Minecraft, yeah, you can go a little cheaper. But like if you want to play like Fortnite and maybe some other stuff, probably closer to like the 800 range, counting like peripherals and other things like that. And then medium range, you're getting up to maybe 1,000, 1,200, maybe, depending on where you want to kind of splurge a little bit. But yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean, with consoles, you also buy accessories, right? You know, you usually tend to buy like a second controller for multiplayer, for local multiplayer. Some people will buy like a microphone headset. so they can shit talk in their Call of Duty lobbies, right? I know a lot of people like to buy like rechargeable battery stands for their controllers, so they just kind of place it on this little stand and it recharges when they're not playing, right? So, you know, if you factor in accessories, that is also maybe at least another $100.
Well,
so it puts
none of that is actually required, right? Like if you want to play a game, you need a mouse, you need a keyboard, you need monitors. When you buy a console, 90% of the time
I am
you
trying
have a
to
TV.
make is that it is the consumer that spends that kind of money on average, and it's not that big of a jump from 600 to 800, all things considered.
True.
And so what I'm trying to say is that the value of a console, I think, has gone down a lot, especially when you consider the subscriptions. And that's really like the main meat and bones of what our topic is today. It's what kind of brought on this whole episode. Because there was a news recently, like yesterday, that dropped, right? About Sony increasing the annual PlayStation Plus plans by up to $40, depending on the plan. PlayStation Plus, for those that don't know, is a subscription service that PlayStation owners must buy if they want to play online for any of the games that they own. So if you want to play Call of Duty online, right, on a PlayStation, you have to have a PlayStation Plus subscription. And then the yearly plans are going up in price by like a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of crazy. Like what are the totals?
Currently right now they are, for PlayStation Plus Essential, they are $60 a year, but will be jumping up to $80. So there's a $30 or $20 jump. PS Plus Extra is $100 a year, will be jumping up to $135. So a $35 jump on that one. And then their PS Plus Premium is currently $120, jumping up to $160.
Yeah.
So a $40 jump on that.
It's insane. So I brought up all that thing about building a budget PC versus the average cost of a console. It's a $200 difference, right? But you don't have to pay a subscription on PC, right?
You just pay for the games you want.
I buy my $60 game and I can start playing it online right away. No problem. If I tried to do that on console, I'd have to buy the game and then also make sure I have the yearly subscription, which is now more expensive than the price of a game as well, which is...
Could you imagine if every company like that we game on tried to charge us like monthly? Steam tried to charge us monthly to play Steam games. Riot tried to charge us monthly to play Riot. Bethesda, I don't fucking know. Blizzard. Like if all these companies like, oh yeah, if you want to play our games online and multiplayer, yeah, it'll be $10 a month. Like no fuck, like
this
the
is
PC
a real
business would go out.
Yeah, this is a really doomer take and like dystopian take, but I feel it's where we're headed because that's already what streaming services do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like beforehand, it was like Netflix or Hulu, and you could have one or the other or both even, and then you had access to all this great content, right? Nowadays, streaming services, every single TV channel that you could possibly think of, wants their own subscription network with their own content library, right? And it's just like, it's too much. Nobody wants to pay $10 here, $10 there for the different networks and companies that offer streaming services. And I feel like there is a possibility that gaming could be headed that way as well. Exactly what you said. Bethesda has their own like content pass, right? Nintendo has their own, well, they kind of do already. But I know what you mean. Yeah. Like breaking it down franchise by franchise.
Yeah. And like it's really terrible, just again sticking to consoles, because so many games nowadays, as we move forward, are reliant on being online. Like you have to be online to play them, because even if it's a single player game, there's constantly updates, DLC,
always online games.
Something like they have to have access to being online at all times in order to be able to be fixed and maintained, because they're not made to just last anymore. Like back in the day on 360, if you bought a single player game, that single player game just was what it is on release. You didn't have updates every other month and changes. If you wanted DLC, you went to the fucking GameStop and you buy the little DLC card and you entered the code on the Xbox shop, and you downloaded it, and then that was the end of it. It was easy, one and done.
So it makes sense why gamers are very mad about this Sony price increase. Because like you said, a bunch of games have to have connection to the internet nowadays. And so it's like, it's not enough to just pay $60 or even $70 nowadays for your games. You now are going to have to pay, at minimum for PlayStation users, an $80 a year charge. You're paying the price, more than the price of a whole game, just to be able to play the games you already purchased. That's crazy to me. That's insane. You don't have to do that on a PC.
Now, to be fair, where is... So currently, Xbox's Game Pass Ultimate, which includes their Xbox Live. For those of you that don't know, Xbox Live is the PlayStation Plus service equivalent to being able to play online, plus their Game Pass. So it gives you monthly 2 or 3 games or something like that if you choose to download them. Once you download them, they're yours. And then some other stuff like that. But their current monthly price is $15. You multiply that out, and that comes out to just shy or just a little bit over. Where did that go? I had it written down and I lost it. I don't want to do math right now. Sorry.
Honestly,
so you're looking
fair.
at 180. You're looking at 180. So Xbox has had this, and now, so anyone who would try and make the argument, oh, PlayStation better than Xbox, it's cheaper for us for our yearly whatever thing. Now they're bumping it up a solid $40 more a year from what it was. Like, it's not like, oh, we're going up $10. It's $40 more. And so it's still less than what the Xbox is charging, but it's still a big jump for what people were used to.
But I think what it really comes down to is the value that you get. Because for those plans that you mentioned from Xbox, it's not just the online subscription. You get Game Pass with that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Game Pass basically gives you, it's like it's like streaming games, right? You get to play a lot of games, including some new releases, right? I think Starfield is going to be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have this Game Pass subscription, you don't have to buy games. You can just play them. Obviously, you lose access to them if the subscription runs out, but maybe if you try it and then you like it, you can buy the full game later on.
So the thing is, they do monthly. It rotates every month. Some of the games rotate every couple weeks. But so say it was this month. Starfield is a game you get to try. I don't know if this is true or not, but say Starfield is the game you get to try. There's one other game you get to try. But then there's usually like 1 or 2 games, usually kind of small indie company style games that you get for free.
Yes.
If you download it and it's in your library, it's yours.
Yeah.
It will never go away unless you undownload it. And then I think they ran into some issues. But they give that option for free games and things like that. As far as I know, again, I'm not much of a PlayStation person, but I believe they just give you kind of like discounts on games and like maybe a free game here and there, but it's not nearly as much value as what Xbox gives for their pass.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up real quick, but I think you're correct about this, that I don't think the benefits for PlayStation Plus are anywhere near as good as what Xbox offers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And, well, he's looking that up. I know Xbox, since day one, Xbox 360, when they first started doing like online play with Modern Warfare 2 and things like that, has always charged for online gameplay. Mm-hmm. They've always had Xbox Live. It used to be like $6, and then it was like $8, and then it was like $10, depending on if you wanted gold or silver. But they've always charged that. PlayStation, someone correct me if I'm wrong, has not always charged. They started following shortly after when they started doing more stuff like that. So they've always been kind of dropping the ball on their community to be like, oh, you guys used to get to play free, but not anymore. Oh, and now we're upping the price. And now we're upping the price. Like within the Microsoft/Xbox community, it's always kind of been known that we pay for, I guess, good quality and like what we want. You know what I'm saying? It's just been such an expected thing.
Okay, so I am trying to find the specific details about this. For the extra and the premium tiers, it is confirmed. Extra gives you access for PlayStation to a catalog of downloadable PS5 and PS4 games. Mm-hmm. The premium tier extends that to PS3, PS2, PS1, and PSP games. But the basic one, just the core essential, I don't think it does that. It says monthly games, so I'm assuming it's maybe a rotational system similar to Xbox, but it lacks the catalog of like the higher tiers. And then the higher tiers, as we mentioned earlier, those are the ones getting like the biggest price jump. For example, if you wanted to download like really old classic like PlayStation 2 titles, you would have to get the PlayStation Premium tier, which is now going to be $160 a year just to be able to play some old school PS2 games.
That's ridiculous.
Pirating is back, baby. Pirating is so back. Let me grab my pirate hat. It's time to sail off the Pirate Bay out onto the open seas.
We can't condone that stuff on here on these websites. What are you doing?
I'm not saying
we're gonna edit that
out. I'm not saying I'm condoning it. I'm just saying it's going to happen. That is a fact. Pirating was already something that saw a steady increase in the wake of all the streaming service debacle that we briefly mentioned, but it's also going to happen, I'm guessing, as a result of this, because again, those prices for, and again, remember, what you're essentially paying for is the online and multiplayer functions of the games you already pay for and own, which is wild to me.
And I think what,
go for it.
Sorry. I think what's crazy is, you kind of mentioned it earlier, is the backwards compatibility, right? Mm-hmm. That has always been a thing that I've heard so many people complain about when it comes to PlayStation. They will be coming out with a new console and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're going to make these games backwards compatible. And then when the console actually releases, they have like a very select few. They're like, just these ones actually. The rest, sorry, we don't want anything to do with them. We don't want to support them. We don't want to do anything like that. And it's always been a very controversial thing on that. I know Xbox at one point did the same thing, but then they got so much backlash. They're like, okay. Listen. The Xbox One, we're going to make it up to you. The Xbox One is backwards compatible with Xbox 360 all the way back to the original Xbox games. You could get original Xbox games on your Xbox One and play them, which I thought was absolutely awesome, because there were some games I loved on that. Yeah,
it's a great feature to just constantly be building up your games library over the years.
Because I think... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't want to exclude Nintendo from this conversation either, because they also, with the launch of the Switch, started doing these online subscription-based models. To be fair, it is the cheapest. I believe it is, they have two tiers. It's like a $20 tier for 1 year of internet, and then a $40 tier that also comes with an increased catalog of like classic Nintendo titles, along with access to DLC for some modern Switch titles. It's not bad. I say that though with extreme bias, because like I said, I got my Switch right here.
I have two right here.
Yeah, and you won't play Animal Crossing on either of them. Why not?
We'll work on that. We'll talk about that another day. It's okay. All right. One thing I did want to mention while we're on the topic of consoles, just kind of a little debate spot. Oh, what the heck? Mad blockers blocking me. The website doesn't want to give me the information I want. I was looking at some, because obviously these companies, every company will make franchise-only exclusives, right? Console-only exclusives. And so I was looking at an article from the same website for Xbox and PlayStation of like the top-rated console or franchise-only games, right? And so for Xbox, a lot of these I actually don't even recognize, but there are a couple on here I'm like, ooh, yeah. So like the first one, ranked number 13, it's called 99 Nights. I don't know what the fuck that is. It looks like some type of hack and slash game. Nightcaster, this thing looks old as fuck, like PlayStation 1. I don't even know why it's on here, but Steel Battalion, I remember playing a little bit. It's kind of like a battleship type game, but Blinks the Time Sweeper. Do you remember this game? Do you know this game?
I have not been familiar with a single game title you've said thus far.
Well, Blinks the Time Sweeper is kind of similar to Ratchet and Clank.
That one I have heard of.
Okay, well, Blinks the Time Sweeper is like the Xbox version of that.
Okay.
A little bit different, but the play style is similar. Very fun game. I loved that game. Crackdown, don't know that one. Viva Pinata.
I know that one.
I was like, this is right up your alley. If you don't know this one. I never played that one, actually. I did hear about it. Otagi, I don't know what the fuck that is. Fable. Holy shit. And for those of you that don't know, there's a new Fable coming out, and I'm so fucking excited. Fable 1, 2, and 3 were just chef's kiss. Great game right there. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't give a fuck about that.
Wait, I'm sorry. No. What? I'm sorry. You don't give a fuck about MS Flight Sim?
No.
We can't be friends anymore. I'm done.
Never
You know,
played
the
it. I'm sorry.
podcast is over. We're never doing another episode. This is the last episode.
Right.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Well,
no more podcast is done. I'm gonna go become an NPC TikTok
To
streamer.
our Spotify listeners, Basoda currently has left the chair, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep talking. On the next one, we got number 4, Gears of War. So for all our listeners and viewers out there, if you played Gears of War, you know how pretty awesome this game was and how it set the standard for some shooters currently, right? We're talking about Gears of War, Basoda.
Okay.
And just how great of a game it was. We got Forza, solid racing game. It has 2 different Forzas in here. It has Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon, but Forza franchise.
I don't know what the difference would be.
What?
I don't know what the difference would be.
I don't know. But surely not least, Basoda, what is number 1 for an Xbox only franchise game or Microsoft? I can't tell if he's being serious right now. You know this. You better know this.
Viva Pinata 2. It's Halo.
It's Halo, you motherfucker. Oh my goodness. I was like, don't make me badly sing the theme song.
I wanted you to badly sing the theme song.
I had this website, but for some reason it's like, yo, turn your ad blocker off. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to. Because I wanted to see what the PlayStation's one were.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not working. Obviously, you got Spider-Man, Gears of War. I don't know. I can see right here behind my little message saying to turn my ad blocker off. It says it's showing a picture of Spyro. I hope it's not saying Spyro is a Sony only because I definitely played Spyro on GameCube.
I feel like it was a mainstay on Sony. On Sony consoles.
It definitely was not on Xbox, but I definitely played it on GameCube. I could swear I played it on GameCube. I had the little disc and everything. The smallest discs ever.
It's possible some of the old PlayStation games got ported to GameCube before Sony became very much like, protective of their IPs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm not too familiar.
Familiarity-wise, I definitely recognize a lot more of what I feel would be the Sony games. You got the Gears of War, the Spider-Man. Battlefield was on Xbox and PlayStation, right? Call of Duty was on Xbox, PlayStation. But those are kind of some of the bigger names, and especially over the past few years, you've had a lot of new Spider-Mans with all the new movies coming out and things like that. Yeah. You had the new God of War a couple years ago that almost won Game of the Year, or did win Game of the Year. I don't think it won Game of the Year. Did it?
I think that's the one that was in 2018, I think.
Yeah, it got like second, or not, they don't do second, but it was close. It was up there in the finals. But yeah, so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the the Spider-Man releases and how they're just getting fucking out there over and over. And honestly, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man game player. I've played them, and they're just so repetitive. It's the same shit over and over.
Neither am I. I don't really play those games. No. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Brain fried. Okay, I'm working.
It's okay. I don't really have much to say. All I mentioned in while we were setting up for the stream was that like there's another Spider-Man game coming out, and it's like only maybe the 4th game of any significant value to be released on the PS5, because that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay,
right. It's like not only are like I kind of feel bad for the PlayStation customers, for PS gamers, because not only are they getting fucked right now with the increase for PlayStation Plus subscriptions, but if you bought a PS5, you essentially purchased a $500 paperweight that is too big to sit on your desk, right? Because this thing has like no games, right? I'm gonna pull up a list of like the best PS5 games so far, and I'm gonna exclude anything that isn't like Marvel.
Okay.
So you have God of War Ragnarok, right? I'm also not gonna count like re-releases. Like this list is already trying to tell me The Last of Us Part 1, like the game came out 10 years ago. Okay, fucking let it go. Okay, let it die. Yeah. So you had the God of War Ragnarok, the new Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and bro, that's it.
No way,
bro. This is on Sony's own website, by the way. This is their own website.
What is this article?
It's not an article. It's literally PlayStation.com/en.us/PS5/games. This is Sony's own website where they're like, discover all the games you want, from exclusive blockbusters to innovative indies, all brought to life with the power of the PS5 console.
Right here, because I linked this. I have. So
do you
want to?
Yeah. Do you want to hear what the other titles are? I said I was going to exclude Marvel and like re-releases. Here are the other titles featured on this website, on Sony's own website. Okay. Last of Us Part 1. That's a remaster. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. That's a collection of games. Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, right? The original Horizon. Oh, wait, Horizon Forbidden West, I guess, counts. But there's also Demon's Souls, which is a remake. Death Stranding Director's Cut. Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut. Both of those are re-releases. And then, like, Gran Turismo. And, like, that's all the games that are on their own actual website. Right? And so it's like, unless you're a huge fan of Marvel, or buying the same game from 5 years ago again, then there's really nothing on the PS5. Like I said earlier, it's the 2 Spider-Man games, Returnal and God of War. And like, that's it. And I remember, someone in our chat is bringing it up as well, that when the PS5 came out, people went apeshit for this. It was impossible to try and buy a PS5. Some people like sold their possessions to be able to purchase a scalped PS5. Because the only way to get a PS5 back then when it released was to purchase it off of scalpers, which were charging up to like 3 times the price. I remember seeing PS5s listed for like $1,200, which is insane.
You only saw 1,200? I saw a 3,000 one. By the way.
I am so sorry if to anyone that bought like a PS5 for more than $1,000. But honestly, at the same time, you kind of deserve it. Why would you give scalpers their money? I don't know. I feel like Sony's really let down their player base this generation, because for all the power that the PlayStation 5 has, I feel like their game library just doesn't make the most use of it. You know, there's a handful of games and like that's about it.
I feel like they're just so stubborn, right? And granted, Microsoft kind of has the advantage because they are a computer company as well as they make a console. So like it's really easy. Like right now I'm on my computer. I pull up my Xbox account through my Xbox app. You guys can't see it, but it's my Xbox account. I have my library. Like I can play my Xbox games on my computer, right? And a lot of the games that I'm looking at in their store are the same games that I could go and find on Steam.
Exactly.
Right. So I don't have to. I wouldn't, even if I didn't play Xbox, or if I didn't have friends that played on PC, they could probably go find these same games and we could still play together, rather than like, oh, hey, are you going to play the new Spider-Man? No, because I have a fucking computer and I can't play Spider-Man.
No, because I play real games.
Like, we got Starfield, Stray, Halo Infinite, Forza, Mortal Kombat, fucking, what else we got on here? Sea of Thieves. All sorts of shit, man.
Yeah, I think
Subnautica,
that's a big plus for Xbox in the console wars, is that a lot of their games, because they are owned by Microsoft, are also playable and have like day one cross play with PC users. Yeah, like you can. You know, and because I'm looking at the PlayStation 5 games list, right? I'm looking at a different article now, and a bunch of the games that I see here, right? They dead ass give me Fortnite as like a game to play on the PlayStation 5. I'm like, brother, the Nintendo Switch has Fortnite, okay? You can play Fortnite on your grandma's Android phone. You know, all the other games they gave me, like Diablo, GTA 5, Final Fantasy, Apex Legends, Elden Ring. Right? That one Star Wars Jedi Survivor game, Genshin Impact, all games playable on PC or other consoles. There's really not a good argument for getting a PlayStation 5 over like an Xbox console, or just straight up a PC. Just build a PC. If there's one thing anybody takes away from this episode, whether you're here live or watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, get a PC. Build a PC. You will thank yourself in the future. It pays for itself after a few years.
And it really does. And you don't have to worry. We already talked about this, but the whole monthly pay. You pay your internet bill. That's it. And you're fine. You're set.
Yeah, if you buy a PS5, you have to buy the game, and then you have to pay for the PlayStation Plus subscription, and you're still paying, fucking Time Warner Cable, or what's the other one, Comcast, or Cox, the company, for your internet, subscription. Yeah, your ISP.
I didn't recognize half of those companies that you said. We pretty much just have like Charter or AT&T where I'm at.
Trust me, I've had like a vendetta against ISPs for a while, particularly Spectrum. They're my ISP provider. They can go fuck themselves. 3 ways, sideways.
I don't know who our internet provider is in this complex. All I know is I have fiber. Cool.
You lucky son of a bitch. I wish I had fiber.
I do too, but it's taken days to get where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Basuda.
Yes.
If you had to pick a generation that had the best consoles, both PlayStation and Xbox, which generation you picking?
The same generation the Wii was available.
So the 360 and PlayStation 3?
Oh, wait, no. PlayStation 3 kind of sucked ass, if I remember.
I think the PlayStation 2 was better than the 3, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And then 4 was meh, and then 5 was ass.
Okay, then maybe it's like the GameCube, PS2, original Xbox era, like that early 2000s.
I think overall that would be a pretty solid generation. I would give you that one.
Yeah.
I think overall
that would be my answer.
Out of all the consoles between Xbox and PlayStation, 360 just takes the fucking cake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about the Red Ring of Death. I got fixed. I got taken care of. But
right.
Overall, with like online gameplay and the games available, and I think that was the start of when they also started doing like those like headsets and like communication, right? You got the little one that like plugged into your controller, the fucking shitty little Walmart looking mic.
Yeah.
You're fucking having those shout matches in the Call of Duty pre-lobby.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, no, Xbox 360 was phenomenal. And on the Nintendo side of things, the Wii was great. Everybody had a Wii. Your mom, your grandma had a Wii, right? Everybody had a Wii. So if we could like, the only reason I didn't solidify with that is the PS3. So if we could just erase the PlayStation 3 from history, pretend it never existed, and pretended the PS2 just had like an extra 5 years in its lifespan, then I would say that.
3 or 4 that started doing those almost like a VR, but they looked like little bubble wands for you to play like
PlayStation 4.
Like a Wii. Okay, was that 4?
PlayStation 4. Because everybody wanted a piece of the motion control pie. So, like, when they saw how successful the Wii became because of its Wii remote and all that, both companies, both Xbox and PlayStation, came out with their own version, right? Xbox had the Kinect, which was this like little little bar that you would place under the TV or whatever, a little sensor bar, and you would like use your hands to try and. It was weird. I had a Kinect. I think I've told this story before.
I remember you. I think you hated the Kinect, like you loathed it, right?
Well, yeah. I did not want it. So, I mentioned that I got a Xbox to play with my cousins and friends who were playing Call of Duty Zombies at the time. So, this was for my birthday. My parents were like, "We're gonna get you an Xbox for your birthday," and I'm like, "Sweet." And I told him, I was very clear about this. I'm like, hey, Mom and Dad, right now there are 2 versions of the console available on store shelves. One of them has like it was like a 100 gig internal storage. Get that one. Don't get the other one because it's the same price, but it only has 4 gigs because it's bundled with the Kinect. I'm like, don't get that one. I want the one that has more storage so I don't have to buy it. I'm like, they're the same price. They got me the one with the Kinect.
Parents don't listen.
They don't listen.
They don't listen.
And it's like it was hard for me to like really, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be ungrateful. I didn't want to be that angsty, like ungrateful, a teen, like, Mom, you didn't get me the right thing. I hate you. You ruined my birthday. So I just kind of, I smiled and I'm like, I'm holding back a single tear. I'm like, thank you. I love it. Yeah, I did end up buying a more storage, but I figured since I had the Kinect, why not? I'd give it a go. And that thing sucked ass. So much ass. Holy shit. It could be a porn star with how much ass it sucked. It was terrible.
I went into my closet in the bedroom. Too bad I'd wake up my girlfriend. I'm pretty sure I have a Kinect in there that came with my Xbox that I never... I think I left the Kinect in the box for the longest time. I don't think I ever took the Kinect out of the box. Good.
Smart choice. That the only correct choice, as a matter of fact. It was really bad. I played a few Kinect games. There was like a river rafting Kinect adventure game that came bundled with it. And then we also, my sister and I, we bought this Disneyland Kinect Adventures. And you could make your own little avatar, and like walk through like a virtual Disney. It was basically the metaverse, like 15 years in advance. It was kind of crazy.
I'm just thinking of all the internet memes where people would get into a lobby and be like, Xbox turn off or whatever, and shut off whoever had the microphone to their Kinect and shut everything off.
Yeah. So that I will say that was the only cool thing, was just being able to go like Xbox on and it turns on. But I'm like, you don't need a motion sensor for that. You just need like a microphone.
I don't think I ever took it out because all I ever really played was Call of Duty and Halo. I was like, that's all I fucking played.
Well, that's why I didn't want the Kinect. So I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, all these games are just gimmicks. Like the Wii, the motion controls are an integral part of a lot of the games they make, whereas the Kinect was just sort of like their cheap way of trying to cash in on the motion gaming craze. And so that's why I didn't want it, because the 2 games that I had for the Kinect were terrible, and I wasn't alone. Pretty much everyone that had a Kinect agreed, like, yeah, all the games for the Kinect, save for maybe like 1 or 2, were really bad, and the Kinect just, that's where they quietly buried it. I will say, I still think the Kinect was better than whatever the fuck PlayStation was doing, because you're right. They also tried to cash in on the motion gaming craze. It was called PlayStation Move, and it was like a little
bubble ones. You had the bubble ones.
Well,
glue blue and pink.
So you call them bubble wands. I and other people thought they looked more like Hitachi wands, which if you know, you know.
No, I don't know, and I don't think I want to know. So.
Oh my God, he doesn't know. Don't Google it. Anyone listening, listen. If you don't know, don't Google what a Hitachi wand is.
Just stick with what I said. Bubble wands. They're little bubbles on the end.
It's a massager. Yeah, that's what it is, and it is only used for back massages and nothing else.
Nothing else. All right, good to know. Thanks. Thank you for the educational lesson of the day. Yeah, I will be sure to not Google that at this very second. And
all right.
Now, but, yeah, talking about the Wii. Did you ever do Wii Fit? Did you ever get the little board that you stood on and? Nice. Okay, listen. Do you want to know what I obsessed on that fucking game? The little thing. It's the balance checker.
Yeah.
Where you try and like. I was like, okay, I want to not move. Don't move. And I would spend forever on that. I'm like, God damn it. Because I just see the little line moving. I'm like, I am not moving that much. This fucking bullshit is lying. Yeah. It is fucking lying.
Like, you think you're good, and then at the end of it, it shows you like the track of like where you were, of how your balance changed. And you're like, how did I move that much? It's just fucked, dude.
I'm glad we were on the same page with that. Like, fuck the games. I just wanted to have good balance.
I never could nail it. I never did achieve good balance there. But yeah, so trying to bring us back to like the main topic about like, I guess like the value of consoles since the history, since like all the good times that we just reminisce, things have gotten pretty different in terms of value for console, right?
Oh, absolutely. They've just, with the rate that PCs are improving, the availability of games on a PC, the wide library of games, right? So when we download, or when we get a PC, we have access to all these different companies' launchers, and then we have access to their libraries and things like that. The only thing that the consoles have access to, like you mentioned Apex for PlayStation earlier, I don't remember who the company is that runs Apex, but their launcher, I think it's Origin. Might be Origin. But
I hate that launcher.
They've only partnered with PlayStation for that game, but they have a bunch of other games that you can only have access to with a PC. So you maybe you do get a medium end PC. You spend the $1,200, but now your access to games is just so much wider, right?
Yeah.
And then unless you get really unlucky, if something goes wrong with your computer, like really wrong, normally you're only replacing like one part. Maybe you upgrade your graphics card. Maybe you upgrade some RAM. Like it's one thing at a time. If something goes wrong in your console, you're 80% of the time probably paying the same amount that you paid for the console to get it repaired.
Yeah.
Or you're just getting a whole new console.
It's only, from what I've found, it is only a like big purchase initially.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's considerably like smaller, like 100, 200, 300 upgrades or fixes or repairs or whatever over the years. Whereas it feels like consoles are getting more and more expensive, right? We talked about the good old days of those like mid to late 2010 era of consoles. Back then, what was it? The Wii was like $200.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Xbox 360 like 300, 350 maybe for like the PS2. I know the PlayStation 3 was memed because I think it launched for like 500 or something like that, which was back then insane. And then they brought it down for a little bit. I don't know if you want to fact check me on that.
The 360 released at 400.
Okay.
If this thing would go away. And then the PlayStation 3, you said?
Yeah. I think
released
it launched
at 500. Yeah, it released at 500.
It was insane. Because I think
that was $500 for 20 gigabytes, or you could do $600 for 60 gigabytes, which Jesus back then was Christ. A lot. But
yeah, nowadays, like what you could buy. I just bought a 2 terabyte NVMe drive for my PC. 2 terabytes for like $80.
Mm-hmm. And they're not designed to last. Half the time they go on like in like a little cubby on like a TV stand, what the fuck, like a TV stand or whatever. They go in like a little cubby with zero airflow. Yeah. Their heat sinks are fucking trash.
Yeah.
Just in general, they're like little hot boxes. You don't see people, nor with the tools nor capabilities to take them apart normally to clean them and take care of them. Half the time, these companies build them with screws where you need a special type of screwdriver just to fucking take it apart.
I hate those so much, man.
But over here, I can literally turn. I go open. I go open. Oh, and look, now I can clean my entire computer and take care of it and make sure that it lasts a long time.
Like, what is this? What is this right here? Tell me, what do you think this is?
A special screwdriver for a special screw?
But like, this doesn't look like a screwdriver, okay? This looks like I'm about to shoot crack into my veins or something. Right? I need the PS5. The PS5 is a good console. The PS5 is a good console. I hate the special.
Is that for the PlayStation?
This?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I think I don't remember why I have this. I don't even know why it's at my desk. It's just very convenient that you brought that up. It just
happens to be on your desk, like you use it, but you don't even know what for. All right, fair enough.
Listen, the topic of today is consoles. So, getting back on that.
I thought you were going somewhere. I was giving you a second to talk. I feel like I always cut you off. I didn't want to cut you off, all right?
No, you're good.
No, but like we were saying, they're just not... Over the years, PC is exponentially getting better, and consoles are just exponentially getting worse. As we can tell from PlayStation when you were talking about their library, it's just kind of dwindling, almost like they're running out of fucking ideas. Now, I will say, in the past years, there is one game that I played on a PlayStation exclusive that was actually really fun. It was called Horizon Zero Dawn, and I actually think they just released the second one within the past 3 or 4 years, something like that.
I think it was this year.
Was it this year? I don't fucking know. Bro, I can't keep track of the shit. In case you can't tell, my sense of time is fucking out the window.
That's fair.
But it was actually a fun game. I enjoyed that. I played it on my buddy's PlayStation. But other than that, I can't really, other than the games that everyone knows and that you talked about earlier, I can't name shit. It has no interest to me. It doesn't do anything for me. And I don't even think Xbox really has to try. Like we mentioned, they're just so linked in with Microsoft. Like, most of the people are just playing either the normal games that they always play on Xbox, or they're switching over to PC. I think majority of Xbox people make the switch to PC fairly easily.
Well, because they're in the
PlayStation.
Yeah, because they're in the same ecosystem already.
Yeah,
They have
that Microsoft mentality.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned earlier how Games Pass for Xbox is a really good deal. Well, they have that same thing, Games Pass for PC. If you have a Windows PC, you can play the same games that are available on Xbox, but on your computer instead.
Yeah. Like, what was it? I think it was Minecraft, right? Like, you don't go, like, I can play Minecraft with maybe I have like a little cousin or whatever that likes to play Minecraft. He's like, hey, play Minecraft with me. I can just hop on my computer. I don't have to go fucking buy a console to play Minecraft with my cousin. I can just hop on my PC because his parents probably bought him a little console for his Christmas or something, and he's playing Minecraft because he's fucking 10 years old. Oh yeah, I'll play with you. I'll hop on my nice $3,000 PC and play with you. Like, I have fucking Minecraft right here on my Xbox thing. It's easier.
Yeah, I was like, all right, glossing over your PC flex right over there.
That's actually not the price of my PC. I was just throwing shit out there. I'm throwing out random facts. That's not the price of my PC. I was about
to say, I'm like, $3K? Sheesh.
I was making the comparison between the parents getting the nephew, who's probably like 10 or 12, like a little $400, $500 console, right? And then you're over here with probably your fucking
PC. Sure. No relation to real life. Not a $3,000 PC. Not even a 12-year-old kid. Could be a 28-year-old streamer. You never know.
Yeah. Anyways, Basoda, you're getting a little sus over here. Is it time to play some Among Us? Are you reminiscing?
Not really. What do you mean?
Your favorite game, man. I always hear from all of your community about how much you love that game, playing it.
You're gaslighting me right now, and I don't know how to respond. Listen, I like me some Among Us, but it is by far is nowhere near like my favorite games of all time. If we do like specifically like party games or like social games, then yeah, it would probably rank up there. Favorite games of all time? No, we already talked about that on a prior episode. We don't need to go over that whole thing again.
I feel like since you brought it up and we're talking about consoles, I feel like when it comes to party games and stuff like that, Nintendo's always kind of held the crown on those. I don't think Xbox or PlayStation has ever even really attempted to get into that.
There is a reason why neither Sony nor Microsoft has been able to put out like a viable arcade kart racer to compete with Mario Kart. They've tried, right? Like I know Sony has like exactly my point exactly. Yeah, they've tried. I know Sony tried to do like the Crash Bandicoot, like Nitro Team Racing or something like that. And then I know on Xbox there was also they had this like they partnered with Sega and they had this like Sonic Team Racing and there was a bunch of other like Sega characters, and then also for some reason the Heavy from TF2 was in that game. I don't know why, but like they've tried to make an arcade kart racer that's fun, and it just doesn't hold a candle to Mario Kart. There's a reason why it is 2023 and we're still playing Mario Kart 8, a game that came out on the Wii U in 2012. Like somebody could be listening to this podcast right now who wasn't even born when the original Mario Kart 8 came out.
I'm offended that you're talking about that one and you didn't reference Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. That was like S+ tier.
I'm not saying that's the best Mario Kart. I'm talking about like currently. This is the current Mario Kart that has been going on for 11 years because it's really good.
Wait, the Mario Kart 8 that I have on Switch right here.
Yeah.
Came out 11 years ago? It's not new? I'm actually stupid. I really don't know.
So we'll do an aside. The original version of Mario Kart 8 released on the Wii U in like 2012, right? And then they released 2 DLC packs for the Wii U version. When the Switch came out 5 years later, they re-released the game as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which included all of the DLC along with like a revamped battle mode and a few new playable characters. And so and I think they did increase like the graphical quality slightly to meet like the modern Switch standards. And what they're doing nowadays, what they started doing I think like last year, is releasing even more DLC tracks every couple months or so. I think we have one more wave of it that comes out by the end of the year. But like they're keeping this game alive. You know, we're still not going to get Mario Kart 9 for some time because they're continuing to invest in this Mario Kart. Because like you said, it's a fantastic party game. And
Absolutely.
Besides Mario Kart, like what other Nintendo party games are there? Right? You have Mario Party, duh. Smash Bros. I know it's like a fighting game, but let's be real, most of us play it as like
a play at a party, like you
exactly.
have friends over and you're like, hey, you guys want to smash?
Wait, hold on. Smash the homies. But yeah, you know, Nintendo has no shortage of these type of like get together party games. I would even argue something like Wii Sports back when it was really popular is something kind of like that, where you get together and you just play games with your friends and family. There's a reason why Nintendo pretty much wins like best family game at the Game Awards every single year.
And honestly, I think it's because they do really good at just sticking to what works. I think Nintendo's always done that. They're like, you know what? This is where we fit. This is where we're going to stay. And we're just going to keep doing it and making it better. I think Microsoft a little bit and PlayStation kind of try and go, okay, let's broaden. Oh, shit, that didn't work. Okay, let's broaden again. Oh, nope, that didn't work. And like they keep doing all this shit, or they try and release things to keep, like, for example, Battlefield. Battlefield came out. And this wasn't PlayStation exclusive, but just the company in general. Like they tried to like, okay, we got to get Battlefield out here. We got to keep up with Call of Duty, right? And Battlefield, when it released, was ass. Like that did not last.
The new one, like right? The new one, 2042 or whatever.
One. Yeah, because companies are just trying so hard instead of. They're not focused on quality anymore. They're like quantity. Yeah. They're like, oh, this company's doing this company's doing this. We got to do this, and they're like getting these games out there without fucking making them good anymore, or making good consoles. They're like, you know what, our console's old. Let's get another one out there. Yeah. Like,
and then you have all the microtransactions in those games as well that just litter it. Like it's just games are like fucking. They're guys, gaming dead.
I don't think gaming's dead. I just think gamers have let companies money grab for too long, and now there's like no going back, right?
Well, what's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back then?
Fuck if I know, man. Honestly, I thought after all these years, like there's been a few games. I can't list them right now. I just know that there's been a handful of games over the past 5 or 6 years that have released. People pre-ordered them, like huge amounts of pre-orders, and then the game comes out and it's absolute trash. First one that comes to my brain is Anthem. Absolute dog shit of a motherfucking game that was anticipated.
Oh my
to
god!
Just blow other games out of the fucking water.
Yeah, I remember.
Dog shit. Like, at what point? Like, I don't know. But at some point, there's got to be like I stopped pre-ordering games. Honestly. I think the last game I pre-ordered was Diablo, and I did that just so my girlfriend could play on the free weekend they were doing, because she's a fucking Diablo nerd. So I was like, all right, here, play. I let her on my computer. I said, play, have fun. But other than that, I don't pre-order shit anymore because the quality on releases have just been ass. But yet there's still enough to where companies continue to do it. So I don't fucking know, man. I don't know if there ever will be a straw. I think it's just the world we live in right now.
Right.
And it is what it is. Eventually, maybe a company will fuck up so bad. But like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go start a picket line like the writers right now? Like,
well, no, but like to bring this back to, and that's a topic for another episode, another day. But to bring it back to what kind of kicked off the idea for this whole episode, which is Sony's increase in subscription prices. Yeah, like, how do you think the fallout of this? You think people are just gonna continue to eat the prices and be like, well, I have a PlayStation. I want to play Call of Duty. Guess I just got to pay an extra $20 to $40. Yeah, or is this like, because like, you know, not to get political or anything, but I mean, inflation is kind of still really bad, at least here in the US. So, you know, that $20 to $40 difference for a lot of people is like, I don't really need this. You know, I joked about how like the PS5 is a $500 paperweight, but a lot of people truly feel like they've wasted their money on PlayStation. I was scrolling through X.com earlier to get some background info for this episode. And like, if you go to Sony or PlayStation and you search up on Twitter, you'll see a lot of tweets of people just being straight up like, I'm selling my PS5. Like I'm done with PlayStation, you know, it's the cost is getting to be too much, and the benefit is just not worth it. So I don't know. Maybe again, this is just another like, hey, this game company sucks, fuck them, and then next month we stop talking about it and everyone just accepts the new price and we just keep going on with their lives. Like $5 gas.
Like the cycle of like hope and regret repeat over and over, right? So like you get the PlayStation, for example, PlayStation 5, you get it, turns out to be ass. You don't have very many options. You kind of get sad. You want to sell it. Boom. PlayStation 6 is coming out, right? Okay, we promised this. Okay, cool. You go and buy the PlayStation 6, but then you get none of what was promised, right?
Yeah.
You just get another letdown, and you're like, fuck, I really hoped this time would be different or whatever. It's like going back to your Toxic Ex over and over. I really thought they changed. No,
that's me. That's me with Overwatch 2. Oh, it's too late, man.
But then by the time you realize that you're not getting what you promised, it's past the return date. You've had it for a few months. You can't take it back. They have your money. Like,
yeah,
cool. Sucks to suck for you guys. And it's not just PlayStation. Lots of companies do this shit. Game companies, creators, all that type of stuff. It's just gaming companies in general. It's ridiculous.
The only way this is going to change is gamers need to stop buying into the hype. They need to stop pre-ordering things. They need to stop trying to get things day one, right? They need to just hold their money, wait and see if what they're interested in is worth it or not, right? Because like you said, once you make that payment, you know, most people try to justify to themselves, like, this was a good purchase, all right? Like, consoles by no means are, like, they're kind of an expensive commodity to own. So it's not like and when people tend to spend a lot of money, they try to justify that. Try to be like, okay, it's, you know, there'll be some good games. There are going to be some games coming out next year and they're going to be bangers and I'm going to be glad I have the console. No problem. Oh, I can play my old PS games, surely, you know, and it's just like, yeah, like gamers have to stop doing that. That's the only way that's the only way these gaming companies, you know, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, are going to get the message that, like, we're just done with it. Same thing with like microtransactions, right? Same thing with just bad games in general, is just stop buying them and stop trying to get them so soon, so early, pre-ordering them. That just needs to just let a game come out, give it a, you know, cool off a little bit, give it some time to breathe before you make that decision. But gamers are not like that. We're all like energy drink addicted.
I saw this video
late
the
night
other day.
degens, yeah.
And I don't want to stray too far from like the console specific topic, but it was talking about how the gaming world currently is just too competitive. And like, I can't really argue against, like, I'm a very competitive person just in general. So like, I understand, but like, people want to get the game, get the achievements, be the first one to do this, be the first one to do that, speed run it, do this, right? Find whatever glitches they can, whatever, right? Like, what just came out, Baldur's Gate 3, and people were like, oh, I'm going to speed run to see who can have sex the fastest with this character. Like, what?
Wasn't the world record like 6 minutes or something like that?
No, it's like 2 minutes, Basoda. It's like less than 3 minutes.
Oh, they'll last longer than I do.
But that's just the world we live in. It's just all... What is the
It's the gamer mentality.
No, the chemical, the
dopamine.
Yeah, it's like you just need that hit of dopamine, man. Everyone's searching for that dopamine. So I don't think consoles, gaming companies, I don't think it's changing anytime soon. Yeah. I think it's just going to be individual at this point.
You're right. It's a larger societal issue that extends far beyond gaming. Because like I said, realistically, the only thing people can do is just not spend their money or be a little more patient or careful with what they do end up buying. That, or just build a PC. Yeah. Or just build a PC and all your problems are solved.
True. I mean,
true.
I buy a game, I don't like it. Hopefully I didn't play it long enough to return it, or I just look at myself and be like, it was $60. It wasn't $600 that I'm now stuck with.
Exactly. And so, like I said, I know this started out as like a console themed console war episode, like who's better, Sony, Xbox. Get a PC. Get a PC. This has all been leading.
Always has been.
I think Xbox, after everything we've discussed tonight, is at least marginally better than the Sony ecosystem currently. We're not talking about like all history. We're talking about like currently. I think Nintendo fits somewhere in between because Game Pass is an undeniably a great value. It's really hard to beat that. Nintendo kind of has their own version of it, but it's not as good, but it's definitely better than whatever the fuck Sony's offering. So that's kind of what it is. Like Sony down here, Nintendo here, Xbox a little bit better, but just get a PC. All of this lead up just to say, just get a PC. That's just the smartest option. If you're a true gamer,
we baited you guys into thinking this was a console debate when really
this is a PC Master Race episode. Yeah, if you're a real gamer in 2023, you get a gaming PC if you're serious about it.
Here's the thing: if we stop buying consoles, they'll be forced to do
exactly. Because what I was just about to say is your best option as a gamer in the year of our Lord 2023 is to get a PC because the value of getting a console has gone down over the last decade. They're just way too pricey. They don't offer enough games or exclusivity or features. And like you said, the shelf life is considerably less than like if you were to build and maintain your PC. So I think that's like my final thought about all that.
I agree. I'm gonna just stand strong and forever say that Xbox is always. I'm always that person. Xbox has always been better than PlayStation. Come at me.
Valid. You know, you're not going to hear arguments from me. I never owned a PlayStation console, so maybe this episode was super biased from the very beginning. But that's why we're called the trash guys, not the debate or facts and logic guys. Right? We're the trash guys, and these are our trashy opinions.
I'm just saying. On a little side note. Since PlayStation's been around, Sony's servers have been hacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times since 2011, with data getting stolen, credit card information. You know how many times Microsoft's been hacked? Goose egg. Just saying. If you value your personal information, maybe not go PlayStation.
I think that's checkmate. I think that, oh God, I did not know that. I think that's checkmate.
The most recent one was 2017 hacker group accessed Sony's social media accounts, which isn't crazy. But in 2014, they got a massive Christmas DDoS hack. In 2014, hacker steals 100 terabytes of personal player data from Sony.
Jesus Christ.
100 terabytes.
100 terabytes. Imagine trying to buy that much storage. Would still be cheaper than a PS5.
150 right there.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to say. Like I said, TLDR, Xbox is slightly better than PlayStation, but just get a PC.
100%.
Yeah, just get a PC. Or Nintendo if you like
cozy games.
Yeah, exactly.
Cozy party games. There you go.
I was like, what was their niche again? Like family games. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, on that note, have a great rest of your night. Go buy a PC if you don't have one already.
PC Master Race.
We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.